aboard.
Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Railroad. We're about to take a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom with a stop at Frontierland along the way. But if you stay on board long enough, by sooner or later, you'll be back. By the way, we're traveling on pure steam power. This old locomotive is descended from the mighty trains that powered the golden age of steam. And just like me, it's a little old-fashioned. Now, where else can you travel from the charm of Main Street, USA, to the untamed jungles of Africa, Asia, and South America? At the Magic Kingdom, anything is possible, and we're headed straight to the heart of Adventureland. It can get pretty wild in these parts, especially if you run into Captain Jack Sparrow. He's hiding out among those scurrilous pirates of the Caribbean. Whether you're boarding a boat for the Jungle Cruise or flying on Aladdin's magic carpets, when you visit Adventureland, bring an extra dose of bravery. As for me, I'll stay safe and sound right here aboard my train, if you don't mind. We've reached the wild west of the Magic Kingdom, Frontierland. This outpost is home to covered wagons, cowpokes, and country bears. And we've got our own mountain range of exciting adventures. You might catch a runaway mine train at Big Thunder Mountain, or hop on over to Splash Mountain and join Brer Rabbit for a 50-foot drop straight down into the Briar Patch. We've reached Frontierland Station, everyone, so sit tight until we come to a complete stop. If you're disembarking here, please carry your strollers all the way off the platform before you unfold them. That'll help make room for the new passengers joining us. Watch your step now. This is Frontierland Station.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Frontierland Station. This will be the closest stop for Adventureland and Liberty Square. As we come into the station, please remain seated until the train comes to a full stop and you're all clear to disembark. Once again, folks, please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop.
If you're just joining us, welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Railroad. The next leg of our journey will take us all the way back to Main Street, USA. Everybody stay seated and keep your hands and arms, feet and legs safely inside the train. And as always, keep an eye on your little ones.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we head into the American wilderness, we'll pass by the dusty desert town of Tumbleweed. And keep your eyes peeled for the runaway mine trains of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Runaway trains. Now I ask you, is that any way to run a railroad? I feel right at home here in the prairies and forests of the American wilderness. These woods haven't changed much since the days when settlers started heading west. Nowadays, the rails can carry us safely through the wild, and a trip that used to take months can now be made in just a few weeks. There's plenty of deer, antelope, and elk that feed along the banks of the river. And naturally, plenty of early settlers decided to put down stakes and live here too. Of course, those early settlers weren't the first to make their home in this wild frontier. These native tribes of Plains Indians were living, hunting, and trading for centuries before we ever came along. They were the first to tame the wild horses of the American plains, long before our big old iron horses started chugging through these parts. It looks like we're almost out of the woods, folks, and we're coming to the outskirts of Fantasyland, a place where any dream can come true. Here you can fly with Peter Pan or take a spin in a teacup. Walt Disney always believed that no magic kingdom would ever be complete as long as there was imagination left in the world. With that spirit in mind, these folks are dreaming up a whole new Fantasyland. They're hard at work making future dreams come true. Someday soon, you'll be able to take a trip under the sea with the Little Mermaid, or be our guest for an enchanted feast inside the Beast's castle. But for now, it sure is exciting to think about all the fun that lies ahead. This old steam train needs water to keep going, just like you and me. Up ahead, there's an outpost and a water tower, and it looks like we'll be resting there a spell. That'll give the engineer time to top off the tender. Looking at all those posters, I'd say the circus is coming to town, and this circus is coming to stay. It's the Fantasyland Storybook Circus. When it opens, you'll be able to soar through the air with Dumbo the Flying Elephant, and join Goofy on the Barnstormer, a rollicking ride of circus acrobatics and coaster thrills. Now the circus isn't here yet, but it won't be too much longer. Now everyone stay seated and keep your hands and arms, feet and legs inside the train at all times. Oh, and please keep an eye on your children. There are some who say that this steam train is a little old-fashioned, but for me, it's the only way to travel. Of course, there are those who prefer to hit the highway, and on the right, you just might spot some pint-sized drivers taking their first spin behind the wheel of a car. Getting from place to place is a big deal in Tomorrowland, where you might board a people mover, zip around on the Astro Orbiter, or book a flight across the galaxy at our busy starport in Space Mountain. Tomorrowland is truly a world on the move. Speaking of moving, it seems like a whole lot of new neighbors have been migrating in from all corners of the Milky Way. There's that rascally Experiment 626, better known as Stitch, always up to his usual antics. Buzz Lightyear is scouting for a few good space rangers. Even the monsters of Monstropolis have taken a shine to Tomorrowland. I hear those monsters are pretty funny. They're sure funny looking. Yep, the future is here today at the Magic Kingdom, and the future looks like a lot of fun. But after working on the railroad all the livelong day, it's nice to come home to good old Main Street, USA. Inspired by the small-town dreams of a young Walt Disney, a walk down Main Street is like stepping back into the early years of the 20th century. Walt had fond memories of those days, and it's a dream we still like to share, especially at parade time. We've made a complete trip around the Magic Kingdom. For those of you who've been on board for the whole journey, thanks for putting up with me these past few days. If you're staying with us, we'll be headed for Frontierland next. Right now, please stay seated until our train comes to a complete stop. Then pick up your belongings and carefully step off the train. If you have strollers to unfold, please take them all the way beyond the platform so we can safely board passengers for the next leg of our journey. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
Very quick, please stay seated. The train has come to a full and complete stop. And I'm giving you an all clear. Once again, folks, please remain seated till you come to a full and complete stop.